for being here, Kat. It honestly means so much. You know, you're obviously so busy with the Raptor season and everything else that you have going on in your life, but it's just, thank you.
Of course, no, I love being a part of these things, and I'm excited for you and your little venture here.
Thank you. And on that note, I wanted to bring it back to 2014, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. I tweeted to you, and I was like, oh my gosh. And the reason why I tweeted to you is I've been going to Raptors games. I see you there, and I'm like, she is such a professional at her job for one thing, but two, does it so well. And I've been trying to figure out, like, how can it be like that? How could I do that and get more comfortable in front of camera? And that was a time where I was more so behind the camera. I was like, okay, maybe this is not for me, but I'm like,
a lot of the time that's where people start though, right?
Yes,
like, yeah,
it's true. And then once I tweeted you, you responded. You're like, oh gosh, anytime you're here, wave me down, we'll take a picture together. Because I think it was, I'll bring it back, but it was something along the lines.
Whoa!
I was literally like, oh my gosh, it's Kat, and like, you know,
I love where you're in this.
I know. I'll show you the tweet later. Actually, I'll probably get my phone, but it's crazy how it came about. And like, it just showed me that, you know, people are just genuinely down to earth and whatnot. So I know that's a huge like gap from how long ago that was, but can you tell me more about how the journey has been for you being an in-game Raptors host?
Yeah, 2014. So I had just kind of transitioned from dancing on the Raptors dance pack to now doing the in-arena hosting. And since then I have held that position because I love it so much, and I'm so grateful to have held that position. But I think in the industry that we are both in, there's a lot of, you know, different pieces to your job. There are some people that are just a television host or whatever, but I appreciate the variety, and that's kind of the way my journey has gone. So yes, I do the stuff with the Raptors, NBA TV Canada as well. I was doing the digital Raptors stuff too, but I do a lot outside too. You know, I'm an actor and I'm an MC. I've been moderating panels. I'm a spin instructor, and I think people go, "How do you have time for it all?" I mean, it all falls into place, and I feel I always say to people, the minute I accepted that you can be more than one thing and do more than one thing, all the pieces started falling together, and I love that every week's different. Yes. I have a restless soul, and that's what I need to make me thrive in life. But
no, I'm with you on that 100%. Like, same thing with me. There's so many different, you know, passions and interests that I have, and it's like, how do I do one? But it's like, no, you don't have to do one. You can do them all. You can balance it, and obviously you might spend more time on other things, but at the same time, you're at least being able to do things that you love.
I do think, and I do think you have to be aware of what is kind of being pushed to the front in different parts of life, because sometimes in life I am really focused on, you know, hosting, and sometimes times in life I'm focused on acting, because that's what's the opportunities that are being presented. So I think you have to be tapped in and aware of that.
And what comes your way.
And open to the things that come your way.
Of course.
I mean, that's how I got where I am.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been able to tell you that this is where I would be 10 years out of, you know,
it's really,
college.
It's such a journey. And same, like, did you, talk to me more about your college experience? What did you actually take? I know had to do with the art?
Yeah. So everybody, I mean, people that come up to me, just, you know, to talk about my career journey and advice, assume that I went into broadcasting, took broadcasting or journalism. I'm a music theater grad. Yeah. So people go, what? But it makes sense. But it makes sense, especially the in-arena stuff. Like, it's theater to me. It's a live show. You're performing, like, you know, anything can happen in that hit, in that 2-minute moment on the big screen in front of 20,000 people, right? And that's very much theater. But yeah, I did music theater, and you know, everything I learned from there, I still use in everything I do now. And I think that's what the variety in my job kind of comes from too, because you know, I'm a dancer, an actor, a singer, and it keeps being presented to me in opportunities, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, music theater.
I love that. I'm finding a lot these days that people will have their degree in something and do something completely different. Because same here, I didn't do broadcasting or journalism. I did a Bachelor of Arts in Arts and Contemporary Studies, which is focused on social sciences and like liberal arts, and then I minored in HR. And it's like, oh, I can still apply those critical thinking things that I learned about. I could still apply all the people, the personable social things that I learned about. So it's crazy to see how your journey can totally be applied to everything else that you're doing.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to be multidimensional too.
I agree.
Yeah, because you're going to find that you're going to use those HR skills and everything too in things that come up in life.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah.
Tell me more about acting. Like, how has that been for you? And
I love it, and I'm going through a phase right now where I haven't done it in a minute, and I'm like really like itching to get something going. Yeah. I mean, I didn't. Growing up, it was more dance focused. That was kind of like my strength going into music theater school. But I fell in love with acting, and I actually was doing some commercial work, and I did a couple feature films while I was dancing on the dance track. Again,
wow.
Every day's different. I remember that was people. When they look at somebody's journey, they often forget that they were once in that kind of hustle.
Position,
I'm still hustling, but where I was going to dance rehearsal or a game like in the evenings. From the game at the arena, I was going to set for an overnight shoot, and then from rapping at 6 a.m. I was going to Fairmont Royal York to host the breakfast shift, just that cycle, so that's what I think about my acting days, that moment, because I haven't really tapped into it much since, besides little gigs and commercials here and there, but I am restless.
What movies have you been in?
I actually doubled for Liv Tyler in The Incredible Hulk.
Wow!
So that was an experience because I was a newbie in the industry. It was my second year in the industry, and just to work alongside her and the rest of the cast and be on such a massive production and set. I was just sucking everything in, absorbing everything, and she's such a wonderful soul. So it was something I will always remember. Yeah.
What is it about dance that kind of got you in that moment? I remember reading a post and you were saying how being a spoke house instructor and a cycle instructor brings you back to those moments. So speak on that if you could.
On those moments, those dance moments,
the feeling that you
I keep saying the word soul, but it's a form of expression dance. And since I was 6 years old, that's how I expressed myself. I was a very shy kid. Very, very shy kid, which is kind of wild. But then, and I still am. I say I'm an extroverted introvert. So I feel more comfortable on the introverted side of things. And I think dance was the way I could express myself, and I did express myself. My parents say it. I remember in kindergarten, Polish was my first language, so English was still new to me. And they came to the Christmas concert, and I was playing Mary, and I sang 3 solos, the shyest kid in the class sang 3 solos, in English at that time, which was a little bit different too, because I had just learned it. And they just said, "Whoa, the stage is her thing, because it makes me comfortable, makes me confident." And that's what it was. It was just it's a form of expression, and to get lost in the music and to get lost in the moment where nothing else matters. And so I think that's what dance brings for me. So now when I stopped dancing professionally, I didn't realize how much I missed it until I found spin, because it's more of a rhythm ride, and it's, that same the good music and just letting go on the bike.
And we were talking earlier, I was spinning is something to get used to.
You're getting into it though.
It's fun. But you're am I doing this right? I don't know if I'm doing this right. You're spinning, you're literally cycling as if you're riding a bicycle, but there's moves to it. There's going with the beat and the rhythm. And I gotta check out your class one time.
Please do. A lot of moving parts, and I always tell people that. I said don't get frustrated on the first one. I felt the same. I'm what is going on? And then I said, chat with me around the 4th ride, and things start coming together.
And how long have you been doing that for?
I've been teaching for 3 years now.
Wow.
Wow. Time flies. My goodness, I know. But I love that, and that's part of my variety that the weeks bring, and I can't wait for those classes too. It's the teaching too. I used to teach dance, and I miss that. It's the give back. It's the high you get because other people feel good. So
I love that. What's your favorite part about hosting Raptors games?
The high of the moment, I love the challenge that anything can happen. This is speaking from the host and the microphone side. but I love being a part of the energy in that arena too.
It's incredible.
The high that the fans bring in, especially like, it's a first game,
Yeah.
and that never gets old. And just kind of being in charge of, triggering that hype throughout, because
You play a huge role with that. Like, I've been to several games already, but just having someone in there to kind of moderate what's happening for the game or for the day.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to watch, but so like uplifting and exhilarating.
Yeah, and to say like, let's hear you make some noise, fans, and then like the place goes crazy. And like, so it's wild. It doesn't get old.
Yes.
It doesn't get old. To be in, again, I keep saying energy, but to be in that energy and that excitement, and a lot of times
energy's huge.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's like the best part of someone's day being at that game, and you have to. I often say you have to take a step out sometimes, because it becomes a little repetitive for us. It could become repetitive for us, right?
Yeah.
So the minute you step out and then step back in, it's just like, this is why we do this. Yeah.
I was grateful enough to cover, the NBA Finals, and I just have to say the atmosphere in that arena was like no other. Like every single game, 1, 2, 5, like crazy. And
Absolutely.
I was like, wow, I just want to be surrounded by this every time. Like
I know, because you think, okay, this is like, I've never seen anything like this, and then the next game you're like, whoa.
Actually, never
we
seen
just went up a level. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was. What was your reaction to that feeling?
I was speechless. It was very overwhelming, but also like, I've been to numerous Raptors games over the season, and regular and playoffs and finals are all different experiences, but for the first time to be in the finals and hear how full that arena was, hear the chanting of everybody, and it was so electric. I think that's the best way to describe it. And it moved me. And now, speaking again more about your in-game hosting, you obviously had gotten the opportunity to host AllStar multiple years. I believe it's been 4 years?
I've done 4, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, starting here in Toronto.
That's amazing. And that was 2016.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, when it was, wow, time flies. I want to touch on, it really does, in 2019, so last year, Charlotte, we, bumped into each other, and I was like, I gotta go tell Kat, like, congrats, like, amazing. And I think at the time, we actually haven't met in person. It was all just social media.
That's right, yeah.
And I was like, I just really wanted to, right?
Yeah,
so crazy how the
for
world
5
works.
years.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, I just really wanted to tell you, like, you are an amazing person. And I think I remember saying congratulations on all your success. And oh, by the way, I'm Meliza from Toronto. And your response was, oh no, I know you. And right then and there, I was like, you know what? This is why Kat's a real one. This is why, like, she is in her position, she does what she does, and why we're able to connect right now. And it's like, it means a lot to me that people are like that. Because,
I just think it's so important to, to the give back. Like, and I've been in your position, and I wish I had those people that knew I was Kat from Toronto, right? And I just think it's so important to help guide people that,
so appreciative of that.
want to make something of their lives. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
It means so much. Like, I'm bringing that up because it was just like a moment where I was like, oh, she knows me. Oh my god. And on that note, like, what was that like? Hosting in different cities and the comparisons between every AllStar that you've hosted at?
Oh, it was an incredible experience. Yeah, I think people say what are some of the highs of your career so far, and I think AllStar Toronto was one of them. AllStar coming north of the border for the first time ever, being able to host all 3 events that weekend. I mean, I slept for a week the week after, because I literally
it was an exhausting week.
I don't think I slept, like, between, like, people don't realize the rehearsals that go into these shows too, especially Saturday night. It's not a typical game, right? Like, you're putting on a 3-hour show. You have these huge performers coming in, you have these actors speaking throughout, like, and it's just like from 1, 2, 3, 4, like, there's no, and of course you have the skills contest,
yes,
and the contest and all of that,
yeah.
But it's such a massive production and spectacle. It was one of the best experiences of my life, career-wise, for growth, and just like the shake of being in that moment, right? Like, it was amazing. So I was super grateful to continue on for a few years and just represent Toronto, because we get to wear a little, the team that we're from, and it was like, oh, there's the Canadian.
I know, they always say, oh, yep, they're from here. That's
But no, every AllStar had its special something, and again, very grateful for all of it. Yeah.
We've spoken a lot about your career, obviously, and you know, things that you do and all how multidimensional you are. But were there any experiences that have shaped you, like any significant experiences that came upon your life, whether it be, you know, within family or friends, or any personal stuff that you're willing to share?
Yeah, I think high school was where it started because I never felt like I fit in. I was in high school. You know, it's so great to see now the programs in schools where arts are, you know, are present, right? Like I feel like when I was in high school, I think, and I wasn't in Toronto High School. I was in So you know, what was my choice was drama and guitar. Like, you know, like and of course creative writing was cute. Like English was my favorite subject. But I just found like I was lost. I was very, very lost in high school. And that shaped me because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I didn't know how to do what I wanted to do once I did tap into the fact that, okay, you need to do your passion.
Yeah.
But that was the arts. And it wasn't supported as much as it is now. I really feel like it is. Going to college wasn't supported as much as, you know, versus going to university as much as it is now. So those are definitely something that shaped me. And yes, it was, you know, years ago. I feel like maybe you're talking about throughout my career, but, but that was the moment because I had to trust my vision, trust my talent, trust my passion, and really just figure it out because it's not like, you know, you join a company as an intern and then you know what your next position is, and then once you get that, you know that next position that you kind of step up the ladder because it's written, it's in black and white. And for me, there wasn't that, and it can scare people, and it did scare me. But it was finding that confidence at a very vulnerable age, and going with it. So I think that was definitely something that shaped me.
I can definitely relate to that, and I feel like I was in the same boat where there's so many things that I wanted to do, but I didn't know what that one was. But then they're always like, no, you gotta get good grades, you gotta make sure you get that 80 to get to college or university and do that. So I'm like, okay,
it's funny. I remember like even like meeting
so
people
pressure.
and they're like, oh, what university do you go to? And I'd be like, well, in college. But I'm like, why am I not proud of this? Right? But it was just like, I mean, again, I was young and still finding that confidence, and it just wasn't as supported. You're going to college for theater? Like, what are you going to do with that?
And there's very few of my classmates who are like in my generation that had gone into theater or music as well, because I think it was still around where it's like, is this even accepted? Can I even make a living off of this?
Yeah, I mean, I had so many people, especially like friends, like parents. Be like, so what are you going to do with that? Like, are you sure this is smart?
That's the hardest part. Tell me a bit more about that. How's it been navigating through what, you know, friends or family have ever put onto you in the sense where, like, you know, I want to do this, but it's like, oh, but what are you really going to do with that? Yeah,
I mean, I did get a lot of that. And then I had my whole, like, you know, dance community super supportive of it because you're going against that grain and you're going into the theater and doing what you love. My parents, so supportive, like the most supportive. I always say sorry, mom and dad, because all three of their kids kind of went into the arts, so like what they had to deal with, right? Because it's not. I mean, no, it's not stable. Like it can be stable. It can absolutely be stable.
Like single direction.
No, and you don't know from one week to another, and we can get into the whole like how to do that too, but. Where were we?
Back on parents and support and
support.
Friends,
No, I don't know. There was just something in me. I was always a fighter. Like that's the personality I've always had. You know, I mean, dancing competitively. I played competitive baseball growing up, and I kind of just always had that in my blood. And again, how my parents raised me. You know, they made me believe that I can do anything. And I'm getting so emotional now. But yeah, no, I was very lucky for their support, and I did have a great group of friends that supported me too. And it's so funny, the people that didn't support you that come around years later. Like
So interesting to see.
You can do what you want with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be grateful. Like, thank you for your congratulations and your support. You just gotta shake off the silly and just keep moving forward.
No, I agree with you 100% on that. And I honestly, it's so crazy how resilient and how much perseverance that we can have as women and people navigating through these moments where, you know, despite all the people that came and tried to break you down and preyed on your downfall, there were those people that were there to support you. And it's so uplifting and empowering. What's your favorite motto or mantra, quote that you live by?
It changes all the time. I am a huge quote person. Like, I live life on quotes. Like, even like the art in my condo is just like quotes.
On Instagram, it's so easy to like
oh my
repost
gosh,
quotes.
absolutely. I'm like, chill. Like, that's like 14 quotes today. But one I love right now is be so captivated by purpose that you won't be distracted by comparison. I think through social media and life, it's so funny because I always find that themes come up like every week where everybody's kind of going through the same thing or struggling with the same thing, you know.
I don't know if it's astrology, but I know it has a lot to do with it. Shout out to Davey behind the scenes.
No, absolutely. And I'm super in tune with that too. But yeah, so anyways, be so captivated by purpose. I think people, it's just, people have been distracted by comparing themselves to others because it's so much more in your face.
It is.
Especially through social media. So I think you need to really tap in and let that passion and what makes you feel good drive you and leave everything to the side. So that's my quote of the week.
And the comparison does not matter. So you know.
Everybody's got their something, and you really need
time. Like everybody has
their own timeline. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's the hardest part to realize. I'm like, when can I be Kat? It's like, no, what?
Oh my gosh,
Kat, no, will be Kat. You know.
Yeah, and everybody does have their timeline, and that's why people. Yeah, when people. Why haven't you done this yet in your career? Why aren't you going this direction? I'm like, that's not my timeline, and that's not where my heart is. And I was gonna say, that's fine.
It's hard to finally realize what trusting the process actually means. It's like you're going through these motions. There's so many things going on in your life. However, that might not be for you right now. It could be later down in the road, but like at this time, focus on yourself and be present in the moment.
And I think career growth actually comes with growth as a human. The minute I really sat down and took those moments during the week to tap into what Kat needs and how I'm really feeling and how this situation at work really made me feel and you know what I need to fuel this week when it comes to my passion or anything. That's when life started falling into place too. Like there's guidance right like inside, right? Like and once you do take the moment to really absorb that, you're sailing.
Chocolate or candy?
Candy. Yeah, I'm not a sweets person. I'm salty, so
I'm pretty salty too. Like I love a bag of chips, but then I remember in the past I was super into like fuzzy peaches and like peach rings and something about that chewy but sugary.
Bulk bar.
Oh my god!
Let's be honest.
Those blue sharks.
Oh my god.
That's all I would buy. Like bags on the bag, candy. It's like, oh, how much is that? Like, oh, okay, $5 for candy. Sure, I got it.
Yeah, candy, wine gums. That's my number one.
Yeah, the chewy candies you can't go wrong with.
No.
So I'm here for that. And what's your favorite self-care practice?
Okay, so I have a lot, but what came to my mind first is journaling. I've literally been journaling since I was 11, and I still have. Like, I got a diary for my birthday, and it says, the first page is like, today I'm 11. Dear diary, today I got you.
That's so cute.
Why do I still have this?
Yeah.
But it's a practice for me. Like I wake up, hopefully, I try to do it every morning to kind of start my day. But it's just as rewarding to do it at the end of the day too. There's always so much chatter in your head, and again, I'm an introvert, so I find that when I'm having conversations with people, I'm asking more about them. Like I'm more of a listener. So it's just nice to kind of get everything out. And then it's so funny. Sometimes you look back 2 months, like prior to what you wrote, and then a year prior, and like you have these epiphany moments, and you're just like, holy,
right?
Yeah.
And a part of it too is kind of manifesting everything that is on your mind. Like I was in Vegas for summer leave this past year, and I started journaling while we were in the hotel, and I was with a friend, and she's like, "Liz, you can't be serious right now. Like you don't stop." I'm like, "I know, but this is kind of like dumping my brain into like my book and just getting myself back because there's a lot on my mind. I'm really overwhelmed, but I'm also excited. So it's like, let's just put it all on words and for me to read later to then realize."
And to remember those ones too. Yeah, it's not for everyone. That's what I have to realize because people are like, what kind of thing should I be doing? And I always say, just write. It's a good release too. Yeah. If there are things, that you're holding on your shoulders, it's not for everyone, but I still believe in it. And I always like, write as if it's happening already. Yes. Right? Or talk as if it's happening already when you're thinking about your dreams. Like I do believe you mentioned manifesting, and I it's so hard to say that that's been a huge part of. It's also hard for me to say success. Yes, but you are so successful. Yes. But the manifesting and already seeing it before it happens. Oh my goodness, it's a game changer.
We touched a little bit about your parents and the support that you were given. And I don't know if this will be your answer to this question, but who inspires you?
Yeah, definitely my parents. I'm also going to say my family. I have a lot of strong women in my family, and one of them is my grandmother. She passed last year, but she was the one that held us all together. And what I take from her, I see where I get how I am from her, in the fact that she was always kind of a rule breaker, and back then in the 30s, 40s, you did things by the book more, right? Yeah. For example, she didn't get married till she was 30 to a much younger guy, and usually at 30, back then, it was just like.
Like you hear about history and then
oh my gosh, you're not married by 22.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. And she didn't have like her kids till 32. She had twins at 34. I hope I'm getting the ages right. But back then, again, it was just like, that you're going against the grain and you're sticking true to yourself, no matter what other people think. Yes. Right? So
it's very touching.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I know. She's definitely my idol. So
this is always a difficult question to answer because whenever I ask my guests, they're always like, I don't know. But how do you feel you inspire?
I think I'm doing things the opposite of everybody else, and sticking, strong to my beliefs and my values and my passions and making something out of what people often say is impossible. Yes.
And that's definitely.
I hope that's how I inspire. I hope I also inspire. You mentioned it earlier, by not just doing my job, but wanting to guide others through life. I think that's a huge part of my purpose too, and making other people happy. And as much as I do it through, what I do for a career. I just realize now as I get older that I need to tap into that even more. Yeah, it's very rewarding and just go get it. Yeah. Like anything that you put your mind to, and it'll happen for you. But be able to bend, because it'll happen for you, but it could happen in a little bit different way than what you've written in your journal. Like you know what I mean? And I think you have to be open to what's offered.
Yeah. And to answer that question too, you've definitely inspired me, and as you started at the start of this conversation, that was why I reached out. That was the reason why I wanted to get to know you more, and ever since the time has passed, it showed me truly and genuinely that's just who you are. You're a genuine person who is willing to help and like you said, give back. And even though you're so busy with your craft, you still make time out of your day for other people and support them. So thank you again. I know I said thank you like 10 times in this conversation.
Yeah. No, I think so. And that's what people say, how do you describe success? And I think success is, how you... Shit. I'm not good with my quotes right now. Okay, I'm not going to say that.
It's okay.
Okay, continue. I was like, go Kat, I absolutely agree.
But let's go. Yes. So
being respected for what you contribute to the world. Success is being respected for what you contribute to the world.
There we go. What's next for you?
Oh, again, just tapping into, like, I'm restless right now. Like, I absolutely love everything I do. But again, I said, it's kind of in my blood. Like, I always need a challenge, or I'm restless.
Yes.
So I'm just looking for that new challenge, and just, again, listening to what's calling in here. So maybe it's acting right now, but that's what's next for me. And just actually, one of my things for 2022 is I want to start mentoring.
Love it.
So that's next too, and that's going more with that other part of my purpose. So I do have a couple of opportunities coming up, and I'm doing some writing, which I won't talk much about now, but hopefully we'll be able to share soon. And there's always something new. I love that about life. So and thank you for having me.
Of course. No, honestly, I'm again so excited for everything that's happening for you, and so grateful for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, you always put it back into us,
what you
but
do, so keep
girl,
going.
so are you, and that's why. I'm so here for this woosah. But no, seriously, like, it just means so much that we're brought here together today just to even speak, and it's been a long time coming because again, I tweeted to you back in 2014. I approached you in 2019. We tried to get together. Yes. Oh my gosh. Should I go grab it?
Yes, please do.
Make it part of the production. Sure, why not?
It's so funny when you look back too. You're like, oh my gosh, I wrote that.
I know. I'm probably gonna go zoom in on the camera too, but
I used those emojis.
It was so true. I even screenshot it yesterday. So me being a creeper took a picture of you, first of all.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, Madam Kat is looking great tonight. Never get a chance for a photo since she's always occupied. One day soon, smiley face. I was like, oh my goodness. But that was kind of my way of just like, reaching out and
I love
genuinely
that.
myself,
So
I guess. 6 years ago, what am I doing? And then you responded, and you're just like, just wave me down. Would love to cross paths. Happy New Year. RTZ.
RTZ.
Yes. And I was like, I will next time. Happy New Year to you too. That was a cute photo. Yeah. You always.
Did I catch you though?
I don't know. No, you didn't.
Oh no,
that's really. Yeah. But no, you're always rocking such cute outfits and hairstyles and stuff. And let me just have that in there. But thank you again.
Of course.
Hug it up.
Of course. I'm glad this has all come together for you.
Thank you.